Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to our next lesson. This one is called Excitement. We're going to talk about excitement. And I'm going to read a little section from a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which is a fantastic book. I love this book. In fact, I'm going to do a few lessons based on sections of this book because I really, really love it. I think it's just an incredible book that really has a very creative way of looking at life and work and enjoying yourself. Because the theme of the book really is enjoying your life. I mean, that is really what the book is all about. And Tim Ferriss is the writer of the book. Again, the book's title is The 4-Hour Workweek, written by Tim Ferriss. Absolutely excellent book. I highly recommend it. Now, the section we're going to talk about today is about excitement. So let me read what Tim has to say about excitement, and then I'll talk more about it. So here we go. What do you want? Well, first let's ask a better question. Most people will never know what they want. I don't know what I want. If you ask me what I want to do in the next 5 months for language learning, on the other hand, I do know. It's a matter of specificity. What do you want is too imprecise to produce a meaningful and actionable answer. Forget about it. What are your goals is similarly fated for confusion and guesswork. To rephrase the question, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Let's assume we have 10 goals and we achieve them. What is the desired outcome that makes all the effort worthwhile? The most common response is what I also would have suggested 5 years ago. Happiness. I no longer believe this is a good answer. I no longer believe that happiness is the reason we achieve goals. Happiness can be bought with a bottle of wine. And the idea of happiness has become ambiguous through overuse. There is a more precise alternative that reflects what I believe is the actual objective for achieving goals. Bear with me. What is the opposite of happiness? Sadness? No. Just as love and hate are two sides of the same coin, so are happiness and sadness. Crying out of happiness is a perfect illustration of this idea. So, for example, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. And the opposite of happiness is boredom. Excitement is the more practical synonym of happiness. And it is precisely what you should strive to chase. It's the cure-all. When people suggest that you follow your passion or that you follow your bliss, I believe they are, in fact, referring to the same idea. Excitement. This brings us full circle. It brings us back to the beginning, to our beginning question. The question you should be asking isn't, what do I want? It's not, what are my goals? The question you should be asking yourself all the time is, what would excite me? Okay. That's a nice little section from Tim Ferriss from The 4-Hour Workweek. And, I think he's right. Happiness can be found right now very easily. You don't need to achieve a goal to be happy. You don't need to speak perfect English to be happy. You don't need a lot of money to be happy. You don't need to do anything. You can just smile, make your physiology strong, and be grateful for everything you have now. Be aware, be grateful of everything you have now in your life. Your family, your friends, all the people you love and who love you. All the great opportunities you have in your life. Your health. All of us have so many great things in our life. Happiness is really just a choice, an emotional choice. You choose to be happy. You can make yourself happy right now in any situation. So we don't need to have goals to be happy. We don't need to achieve things and get success to be happy. But if we want passion, if we want excitement, well, that's where goals come in. Goals make us grow. They push us to become more, to try new things, to become bigger and better people, to live amazing lives. That's why we have goals. Because as many people have said, you're either growing or you're dying. So we can be happy anytime, anywhere. But if we really want to be passionate, we really want to feel powerful, positive emotions and feel this incredible energy, well, we need to grow. We need to feel excited about our lives. Not just happy, excited. That's the reason to have goals. So when you're choosing your goals, and this is the most important point from this section, when you're choosing your goals, don't choose small goals. Don't choose boring goals. Boring goals are useless. Why have a goal if it's boring? Just stay the same. The only reason to choose a goal and to try to achieve a goal is if it excites you. It will give you energy and passion and excitement trying to get it and actually getting it. You should feel excited about both. That is the purpose of goals. They provide energy. They provide excitement. So when you choose goals, you absolutely must choose exciting goals. When you write that goal down, you should feel excited immediately. If you don't, it's a bad goal. Throw it away and make a new one. All of your goals, your health goals, your money goals, your job and work goals, your relationship goals, your language learning goals, they should all be super exciting to you. Not just a little bit, oh, that would be nice. No. You should feel passionate and excited just thinking about it. Wow, that would be great. So let's talk about money, for example, because it's just such a easy, clear thing to talk about. It's easy to measure. So let's say money, you decide, oh, I'd like to have a little more money. Well, that goal sucks. There's no excitement in getting a little more money. It doesn't excite anybody. But let's say you love cars. And you say, I want enough money to buy a new Ferrari, a hot red fast Ferrari. Woohoo! Well, as we've talked about before, that's exciting. That's a real goal. You will now have a lot of excitement and energy trying to get more money. Because now you have something exciting. You have an exciting reason to do it. You'll be excited trying to get the money, and if you succeed, you will be very excited to buy that car. Or maybe you have a more generous goal that excites you. Maybe your goal is to help hundreds or thousands of homeless people, to give food to people who are hungry, and to see the happiness on their face. That's exciting. That's an exciting reason to get more money. You can wake up every day and feel fantastic about that goal. It will give you energy every single day. And when you accomplish that goal, you will feel great. You will be excited when it happens. That's a great reason to get more money. Also. So again, excitement is what we're looking for. That energy, that passion, that excitement. That's the purpose of goals. So you need to evaluate every one of your goals. And yes, we're sort of repeating some of the ideas we've had in the past. It's okay. This is a very important subject. And I want you to think about it again from a little bit different point of view here. That your life should be exciting. You've got one life. You're going to die. We all are going to die. Do you want to get to the end of your life and look back and say, well, it was kind of boring. It was okay. So-so. It wasn't bad. I mean, that's a wasted life. That sucks. You might as well end right now if that's your poor little goal. That sucks. But I know you don't want that because you're listening to me still. You would have quit by now if that's what you wanted. I know you want more. You want to get to the end of your life and look back and say, I lived an amazing life. I'm excited about all the great things I did. I'm excited about all the people I helped. I'm excited about all the things I learned. Well, that's what you want in your life right now, too, don't you? Don't you want to be excited about your job or your career? About your work? If you're not, you need to change something. You need a bigger goal. A bigger, more exciting goal. You need to keep making that goal bigger and bigger and bigger until you do feel excited. That's when you know it's a good goal. When you start feeling excited and a little scared, as you know. And it's the same when you talk about your body or learning English or anything. You gotta find the excitement in it. And that's so much more powerful than just achieving something. If you achieve, you make $1 million, but you're not excited, there's no exciting reason. You won't be happy. In fact, probably the opposite. You're going to feel very sad and disappointed. So find that excitement. Find your passions in life and choose goals that excite you. That is the only reason to have a goal. All right. Good luck. I hope that you'll go to our member forums and write your goals. Tell everybody about your goals. We want to know. Make us excited. I'm excited to read great goals that other people have. And I'm really excited to hear when they're working on them. So please go to the forums and write down your exciting goals. Share your exciting goals with all of us, all of your Effortless English Club members and family. Share your big, exciting goals with us. And then, every week or every month, tell us what you're doing. How's it going? And when you have successes, when you achieve exciting goals, when you feel great and excited, please go to the forums. Share your excitement. Most other groups, most other peer groups, most other learning groups, they're always just complaining all the time. It's so negative. It just takes all the energy out. But not our club. Our club is the opposite. We share our excitement. We share our successes. We share our passion. That is the purpose of the forums. It's the purpose of our master member site. It is the purpose of the Effortless English Club. So I'm asking you, please share your excitement. Share your positive energy with us. Give it to other people. Inspire other members. Let's do that for each other and build an amazing community, an amazing family of English learners. All right, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to the mini story for excitement. There was a guy named Brad. Brad was a student. Brad was a poor student. He needed money for school. What was Brad? A student. Brad was a student. What did he need? He needed money. Brad needed money. What did he need money for? For school. Brad needed money for school. What kind of student was Brad? Well, he was a poor student. Brad was a poor student, and he needed money for school. Was he a rich student? No, of course not. He was not a rich student. He was a poor student. Brad was a poor student who needed money for school. So he needed money, and he had a worthwhile purpose. Was his purpose worthwhile? Was it good, beneficial, useful? Well, yes, it was. It was worthwhile. It was a good, beneficial purpose. What was his purpose? Why did he need money? Well, he needed money for school, to pay for university, to pay for college. He had a worthwhile reason for needing money. What kind of purpose did he have for needing money? A worthwhile purpose. It was a very good reason to need money. Who had a worthwhile purpose? Brad. Brad had a worthwhile purpose. He had a worthwhile what? Purpose. He had a worthwhile purpose for needing money. And what was his worthwhile purpose? Well, school, university. His purpose for money, his purpose for needing money, for getting money, was school. He needed money for school. So Brad had a very worthwhile purpose. He had a very worthwhile reason for needing money. And so, of course, he got a gun and he went to a convenience store. What did Brad get? A gun. Brad got a gun. Where did he go? To a convenience store. Brad got a gun and he went to a convenience store. What did he have? He had a gun. Who had a gun? Brad. Brad had a gun and he went to a convenience store. Why did he go to a convenience store? Well, to steal money, of course, obviously. Brad got a gun and went to a convenience store to steal money. Why did he want to steal money? Because he had a worthwhile purpose. He needed money for school. So Brad got a gun. He went to a convenience store to get money for school. It was a worthwhile purpose. He walked into the store with his gun. And he said to the clerk, "Give me some money!" And he pointed the gun at the clerk. What did he do with the gun? He pointed the gun at the clerk. Where did he point the gun? At the clerk. He pointed the gun at the clerk. Who did he point the gun at? He pointed the gun at the clerk. Who pointed the gun at the clerk? Brad. Brad pointed the gun at the clerk. What did Brad say? He said, "Give me some money!" Who did he say that to? To the clerk. He said that to the clerk. He said to the clerk, "Give me some money!" And he pointed the gun at the clerk. Where did he point the gun? At the clerk. Where was Brad? He was in a convenience store. Brad was in a convenience store. And he said to the clerk, "Give me some money," while pointing the gun at the clerk. Was the clerk scared? Actually, no. The clerk was not scared. The clerk said, "That's a very imprecise request. How about some specificity?" What? What did he say? The clerk said, "That's a very imprecise request. How about some specificity?" He was a very intelligent clerk, and he was not scared. What kind of request did the clerk want? Well, he wanted a precise request. A detailed, specific request. Did he want a precise request or did he want an imprecise request? He wanted a precise request. He said, "That's a very imprecise request. It's a very general request. How about some specificity?" Did he want Brad to be specific? Yes, he did. He wanted Brad to be specific. Specific about what? Specific about how much money he wanted. Brad said, "Give me some money." Some money. Was Brad precise? Was Brad specific? No, he wasn't. He was very imprecise. He said some. Give me some money. That's very imprecise. So the clerk wanted specificity, or he wanted a general request? Well, he wanted specificity. He wanted a specific request, a precise request from Brad. In fact, the clerk said to Brad, "Don't be ambiguous. Tell me exactly how much you want." Did he want Brad to be ambiguous? Unclear. No, he didn't. He said, "Don't be ambiguous." Who did he not want to be ambiguous? Brad. He did not want Brad to be ambiguous. He said, "Don't be ambiguous. Don't be unclear." He said, "Tell me exactly how much you want." Who said, "Don't be ambiguous"? The clerk. The clerk at the convenience store said, "Don't be ambiguous." Who did he say, "Don't be ambiguous" to? Well, he said it to Brad. He said to Brad, "Don't be ambiguous." Did he want Brad to be ambiguous, or did he want Brad to be specific and clear? Well, he wanted Brad to be very clear. He said, do not be ambiguous. Do not be unclear. Do not be confusing. He said, "Tell me exactly how much you want." How did Brad feel? He was surprised. He was surprised by the clerk's answer. And he was silent. Did Brad talk? No, he didn't. He did not talk. He was silent. And how did he feel? He was surprised. Brad was surprised, and he stood silent. Silently with the gun. He stood silently with the gun, thinking. And then he said, "I don't know. Bear with me while I think." Did Brad want the clerk to be patient with him? Yes, that's right. He said, "Bear with me. Bear with me while I think. Be patient while I think." Who said, "Bear with me"? Well, Brad did. Brad said, "Bear with me while I think. Please be patient while I think." Who did he want to be patient? He wanted the clerk to be patient. He said to the clerk, "Bear with me while I think. Be patient while I think." Did the clerk say, "Bear with me"? Not the clerk. He didn't say that. Brad said that. Brad said, "Bear with me." Why did Brad want the clerk to be patient? Well, because he needed to think for a long time about his answer, about how much money he wanted exactly. Brad needed to think about that answer. He didn't know. So he said to the clerk, "Bear with me while I think about the answer." And he thought. And he thought. And he thought. He stood silently with the gun for 17.5 hours. How long did Brad think? He thought for 17.5 hours. 17 and a half hours. Who thought for 17 and a half hours? Brad did. Brad thought for 17 and a half hours. What was he thinking about? He was thinking about how much money he wanted exactly, precisely. How long did he think? 17 and a half hours. Who thought for 17 and a half hours? Brad. Brad thought for 17 and a half hours. He stood silently for 17 and a half hours. And finally, after 17 and a half hours, Brad spoke. He asked the clerk for $7,298. He said, I want precisely $7,298. Did Brad's answer have specificity? Yes, it did. It did have specificity. It had details. It was specific. What kind of answer did Brad finally give? He finally gave a specific answer. He finally gave a precise answer. How much money did he ask for? He asked for $7,298. Why did he ask for $7,298? Because that's exactly how much money he needed for school. Oh, of course. Well, the clerk smiled and said, okay, that's a great specific answer. And he gave Brad $7,298. Brad immediately went home. Then he went to school and he paid his university. Brad was very happy because now he could study. How did Brad feel? Brad felt very happy because now he could study in school once again. And that is the end of the mini story for excitement. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to the Point of View mini stories for excitement. Let's get started. Since last year, Brad has needed money for school. He has been very poor since last year. He lost all his money last year. So since last year, he has needed money for school. Of course, he has had a worthwhile purpose for needing money. He's had a worthwhile reason for needing money during this whole time, from last year up until recently. So Brad has needed money for school since last year, and since last year, he has had a worthwhile purpose. And during this time, he has thought about money every day. He has tried to find a way to get more money. But he has failed. Since last year up until recently, he has failed to get more money. So he has not been able to go to school. Well, one day he got a great idea. He got a gun and he went to a convenience store. He went into the store. He pointed the gun at the clerk and he said, "Give me some money!" And the clerk said, "Now, that's a very imprecise request. How about some specificity? Don't be ambiguous. Tell me exactly how much you want." Well, Brad was surprised, and he was silent for a while. And then finally he said, I don't know. Bear with me while I think. Well, then Brad was silent again. He stood with the gun, thinking for a long, long time. Thinking about the clerk's question, the clerk's request. He thought for 17 and a half hours. And then finally, after 17 and a half hours, Brad asked for $7,298 precisely. And because Brad's request was precise, the clerk gave it to him. The clerk gave him exactly $7,298. Brad ran home. Then he ran to school with the money. He paid for school, and he started to study again. Of course, Brad was very, very happy. What a happy story. Okay, next, same story. This time from a future point of view. This time using a future time frame. Let's go to the future, shall we? In the future, there will be a student named Brad. And Brad's gonna need money for school. He'll be a poor student, and he won't have money for school. Brad's gonna think about this problem a lot. Now, of course, he'll have a worthwhile purpose. It's a worthwhile purpose to need money for school. So he's gonna have a worthwhile purpose. And finally, he's gonna think of an idea. Aha! I know how to get money, he'll think. He'll grab a gun, and he'll go to a convenience store. He'll go into the convenience store with his gun. He'll point his gun at the clerk, and he's gonna say exactly this. Give me some money! The clerk will be calm. He won't be scared. And the clerk will say, that's a very imprecise request. How about some specificity? Don't be ambiguous. Tell me exactly how much you want. This is going to confuse Brad and surprise him. He'll be silent for a while. And then finally he'll say, I don't know. Bear with me while I think. Then Brad will think. He'll think, and he'll think, and he'll think. He'll think for a very, very long time. In fact, he's going to think for 17 and a half hours, standing in the convenience store, pointing his gun at the clerk. Finally, after 17 and a half hours, he'll ask the clerk for precisely $7,298. And the clerk will be happy. Ah, great. That's a precise request. The clerk will give him the money. The clerk will give him exactly $7,298. Brad will take the money. He'll run home, and then he'll run to school. He'll pay for his school. He will begin to study again, and he will be very, very happy. And that's the end of the point of view stories for excitement. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.